Hamza. Yes, Hamza with an English H, not with a khota, not khamsa. You're thinking of the number 5. It's not the number 5. Hamza is a consonant that is not in the alphabet. This is our alphabet and the Hamza is not here. The consonant Hamza, which is written like this, is basically a glottal stop, which means that you stop the air in the glottis and then release it. It's kind of like when you say uh-oh in English. In fact, when you pronounce any vowel in English, you are actually pronouncing this consonant before making the vowel. Think about it. A, O, when you say up, right? Ahead, right? You're blocking the air and then making the vowel. Well, in Arabic, we do the same, but we write this consonant. We actually write this glottal stop. You can actually find a Hamza with 0 vowel on it, with a sukoon on it, and it will be pronounced with no vowel. We have words like ra'as, where you have this in the middle, and ra'as means head. Ka'as means cup. Ka'as. Hamza is one of those additional symbols that we saw at the beginning of this course. Do you recognize it from the title of this lesson? Yes, it's this right here. You see? We saw it in the title as this here, but it can also be written on an alif, on a waw, and on a ya. When it goes on the ya, notice the dots of the ya disappear. So Hamza can be written on the line. Of course, our line is right here. Remember, alif is written on top of the line. The waw has the circle above the line. And there is the ya. So it can be written on the line, like here, on an alif. You see, if it has a fatha on it, a short a, the Hamza is written on top of the alif. If it's followed by a dhamma, a short u, the Hamza is written above the alif. And if it has a short e, the Hamza is written under the alif. Or you can also write your short e right here, keeping the Hamza on top of the alif. And of course, it can also go on a waw or on a ya. Now you're wondering, how do I write it? Where do I write it? Well, Hamza is a letter that requires knowing some orthographic rules. I'll tell you one of those rules today, and that is that Hamza, when it's at the beginning of the word, has to go on top of an alif. Of course, if it's followed by a short e, then it goes under the alif. It can also go above the alif, and the e would go under the Hamza. So can you read these words? You can pause, try to read, and then hear my reading. Ab, ukht, ibhath, oo, e. And you're probably wondering why I didn't write Well, we will see in another lesson. Can you try to see what these words say and what the English translation is for these words? I know you don't know all the letters, but you will be able to guess from knowing most of the letters. Okay, so let's try to read together. So we have in English Iran, Europe, and Ukraine. So this reads Europa, that's Europe. Again, you can pause and then try and then listen, okay? Number 2 says Iran, and that would be Iran. And then number 3 says Ukraina for Ukraine. You don't know the letter kaf and you don't know the letter nun, but from looking at this here in English, you can tell this can only be Ukraine. Notice that we have added long vowels. You're probably wondering, why don't we just put a short U here for Ukraina, and why don't we just put a short A here and a short A here? Well, that's because when we have a foreign word, we cannot guess the vowels. So we have to add long vowels so we can actually see them and then read them. Now try writing these words here and then check against the next slide. Okay, if you've finished writing, you can check. So this is the word ab, this is ukht, this is ibhath, this is ubba, which is just something people say when they're maybe holding a baby up in the air, ubba. And then Ibu, which is the first part of Ebola. We don't have the letter L yet, so we can't really write that. I can't test you on that. But you should have been able to write Ibu like this. And this is the text we're going to be able to read at the end of this course. Let's look at it with vowels. Let's see if we can find some Hamzas in this text with all the vowels. In line 1, we see one here, this E, and then we see this A here, right? Then in line 2, we see A here. Then we see U here, U. And anything else? No, that's it for line 2. Let's go on to line 3. We have A here, A, and nothing else there. Line 4, we see A here again, and here's another A, and then we have a final Hamza here, and it has a short vowel E, so it's E. Number 5, we have an initial A here, A, and then there's another A here, and that's it for this line.